All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Black Bear News. Early chatters are in, and I'm half hour behind schedule because I was out enjoying the nature. I was running around the mountains of Southern California. Um, yeah, just getting a little nature break, a little reset, and it is a lovely day, almost scorching. Uh, the app on my phone says 80, but my thermometer says just touching 90. Because you know how that goes. You know how that goes. Anyways, welcome, guys. We are live on Rockfin. Urban Hermit and Poppy Davis are hanging out. We got a couple of people. Please come hang out with us on Rockfin if you know what's good for you. Kevin Chanholzer. Actually, speaking of Rockfin, soon and very soon, guys, I'm going to do a Rockfin only live stream, maybe once or twice a week, and then upload it to YouTube. just giving you guys fair warning. So get on the Rockfin. I know some people have problems with it, and I apologize. I don't know what to do about that. I apologize. But if you can, get on the Rockfin. They're upping their live stream game, and so the live stream is working much better now, and works much more quickly. Something about a bear in the woods, right? Actually, speaking of bears, I was driving home late last night, about midnight, and I almost ran into 3 bears in the middle of the road by my house. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I was coming around a corner. There was a bear, snuffling around in a garbage can. I was like, whoa. Went around him. There were 2 more bears. There were 2 more bears. So, yeah, it was a little wild. Some little brown bears eating some food. Jacob Gordon, Sweetleaf, Osama hanging out on Rockfin. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? 9 people watching on Rockfin. Let's get some more. Let's get more people on Rockfin, please. Please, pretty please, because, word in the streets is that, the censorship police are only going to go up. The throttling, the taking down, the demonetizing, the deplatforming of sites is only going to go upwards. So please get on the Rockfin. What am I doing out so late? I was playing some music. And it was cool. Just trying to do the fun things in life, Come on, man. Can't a kid have some fun? Raza, thank you for the super chat. He says, Kevin will follow you anywhere like the NSA. Indeed. Indeed. All right, guys, let's get into it. So the reason for my title, I know the reason why I said it's not what you think is because my title is a very climate denier-y title, right? It might be a title that would invite climate con. Yeah, sounds like my kind of video. I know they're conning us about the climate. How long till Google buys Rockfin? Good question. Realize. I mean, I don't think they're planning on selling, but most good things come to a monetary end, and not always, in great fashion. But you never know. I hope Rockfin stays independent and true because I really like Rockfin. Everybody who's on Rockfin really likes Rockfin, really loves Rockfin, loves how they're treated, loves that they get paid in cryptocurrency, loves the whole deal. Yeah. Yeah. So the reason I said ClimateCon is not what you think. It's for the people in the know, the people that watch this channel actually. Also for the people that might wander in unawares. I'm just going to say the thing that I say every single day, which is the conspiracy is not that climate change is a hoax. The conspiracy, and there is a conspiracy to keep this under wraps. The conspiracy is it's much, much worse than they are letting you know. How do we know this? Well, if you just look at the information, the deluge of information that is coming out about how bad it is, information from 40 years ago about how bad it's going to get. More and more people moving to the position of we are so effed, right? More and more people moving to the position that like, uh-oh, this doesn't look so good. ClimateCon, the climate convention. Oh yeah, no, climate convention only online. We're actually having the ClimateCon right now. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, more people are moving to the position of, say a Guy McPherson or a Roger Hallam or a Jem Bendell or any number of people who understand how badly it's going. Irk1 says was watching local news. They talked about the pandemic and JetBlue's new design. Airplanes in a pandemic, no climate change, right? Well, and I was actually just reading something about Boeing having a record year of airplane sales. Boeing's profits on the rise. What I was like, really in a pandemic. But TCR, funny enough that this actually goes in line with what I'm saying. TCR tweeted at me, what else is there to say, guys? So he's tweeting this, something from the Center of Industrial Progress called Improve the Planet. For the last 40 years, so-called environmentalists have held back industrial progress around the world. God damn those fucking environmentalists. Those pesky environmentalists. You try rubbing, you try scrubbing, you try jailing, you try cuffing, you try macing, you try zip tying. Those pesky environmentalists. That's why we're helping industry fight for its freedom with new ideas. Industry needs to fight for its freedom. They see but the reason why this is funny is because they see where this is going. Fight for its freedom with new ideas, arguments, and policies that will improve our economy and our environment. Really? This is also funny. This is a Twitter site called I Love Fossil Fuels. Woo! I almost want to follow him. Just to see what the hell I Love Fossil Fuels is talking about. I only follow all the good people. Roger Hallam, George Sacriclides, TCR. Roger Hallam, follow me back. What's up with that, Roger? Hallam, follow me back so I can send you a DM and ask you to be on the show. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. No planes on. Yes. Well, anyways, Osama, don't go there. I mean, I would love to go there, but that's the problem. Don't go there. COVID is giving us a 9/11 daily. No planets needed. No planes needed. Planes needed. I mean, yes. No planes on 9/11. Exactly, Osama. Exactement. But we're not even going to go into that discussion right now. No. You can't get me. You can't get me to talk about that. Anyways. So, well, this is a really great thread from Mark Cranfield. He's a watcher of the show. Very interesting. So this is just more evidence that the climate con is not that it's not happening, or not happening very fast, or not caused by humans. The con is that it's super bad, and they really, really don't want you to know until the very, very last moment. The UNFCCC was launched in 1994 to prevent dangerous anthropogenic interference with the climate system. What does that mean? In 1994, the CO2 level was 358 ppm. Those were the days, which, according to the IPCC summary, commits the Earth to 2 to 2.4 C, not including slow feedbacks. Actually, we'll have to go up here. Anyways, we'll go back up there. In 1994, 358 ppm. Already. Remember, we just read that paper that said we have already caused tipping points, which are irreversible feedbacks, if you will, which are irreversible or very, very hard to reverse, depending on your level of technology or techno-utopianism. 358 already committed Earth to 2 to 2.4 C. Done, son. Already beyond the guardrails. The guardrail, the safe guardrail. Let's go back up here. Let's go to the top. Screenshot from IPCC's summary of 2007 synthesis report. Current CO2 equivalent in the air is 570 ppm. Ooh, that's bad. Including methane. Which means the Earth is committed to 2.8 or 3.2 above pre-industrial. Really? So how did 358 commit us to just 2 or 2.4, but 570 commits us to 2.8, 3.2? Something is not right in that math. Are you following me? Yeah, following me. Let's see what else he says here. We'll just look at this a little more. Charts and stuff. 350 to 400 equals 2 to 2.4, 400 to 450, 2.4 to 2.8, 450 to 485. So we're already here in the 400 to 440 just in CO2. Just in CO2. And that's, pretty much 2.5 to 3-ish. 440 to 485, 2.8 to 3.2. Yeah, I don't get the math on the other one. 485 to 570 Oh, I see. This is the equivalent. CO2 equivalent. I get it. Okay. Just CO2. 485 to 573, 3 to 4. Yeah. Yikes. Crikey. And then he goes on to say, but that's only half the story. Half the story has never been told. That's only half the story because it's based on the Charney climate sensitivity, which is for fast feedbacks only. E.g. CO2 warming lag, water vapor, and clouds. When slow feedbacks are included, as in the real world, the committed warming is 6C. So basically 6C locked in. Youch. This is from James Hansen. The implication is that global climate sensitivity of 3C for doubled CO2, although valid for the idealized Charney definition of climate sensitivity, is a considerable understatement of expected equilibrium global warming in response to imposed doubled CO2. Additional warming due to slow climate feedbacks, including loss of ice and spread of flora over the vast high-latitude land area in the northern hemisphere, approximately doubles equilibrium climate sensitivity. Equilibrium sensitivity 6C for doubled CO2 is relevant to the case in which GHG changes are specified. Oh no. Note that due to feedbacks, the concentration of GHGs in the air continue to increase for 80 to 130 years after human emissions stop due to the inertia of the climate system. Oh. And again, I say, crikey. Contradicting, outrageous, persistent disinformation, propaganda coming out of the public-facing climate science community. And Michael Mann is famous for this disinformation. Upper ocean, including surface, continues to warm due to oceanic thermal inertia, but carbon inertia acts in the opposite direction. Ocean draws down atmospheric carbon, reducing greenhouse effect. Once emissions cease, the two largely balance, yielding constant temperature. In fact, the field of climate sensitivity, subject of intense work and debate, is dedicated exclusively to determining the eventual temperature outcome for a given atmospheric CO2 concentration. In 2019, the world's best modeling groups using the latest supercomputers independently arrive at the same very high sensitivity. Even the most aggressive CO2 mitigation steps as envisioned now can only limit further additions to the committed warming, but not reduce the already committed GHG's warming of 2.4 C. Ouch. That's got to hurt, Jim. 2.4 C. That's got to hurt. Losing the remaining Arctic sea ice and its ability to reflect incoming solar energy back to space would be equivalent to adding 1 trillion tons of CO2 to the atmosphere. No further forcing is required to raise global temperature to at least the level of the Pliocene, 2 to 3 million years ago. That's James Hansen in 2008. The amount of additional heat introduced into the Earth system because of Arctic melt is equivalent to an increase in CO2 concentration from 400 to 456 parts per million. Wow. That is stunning. I'm stunned. How about you? So that was a really good thread by Mark Cranfield. Thank you, Mark Cranfield, for putting that together. Sorry about the noise, guys. Whoopsie. My dog is kind of a klutz. She knows not what she knocks over. Everything's fine. Anyways, more and more evidence that things are not good in the climate system. Evidence in all areas of the biosphere. Yeah, Raza, parts per million doesn't sound like much. It wasn't a shovel, Basil. It was screen printing screens, but they're metal framed. Yeah, that is a pretty stunning, pretty brutal, factually brutal thread from Mark Cranfield. The other thing that I think about, well, let me just show you one more thing. Bit of seismic news. I wonder why this is happening. Antarctica rocked by 30,000 tremors in 3 months. This is from December 16th, 2020. Did you all know this was going on? 30,000 tremors have rocked Antarctica since the end of August. According to the University of Chile, a spike in seismic activity that is it's so intriguing. Researchers who study the remote snowbound continent, sorry, I don't mean to harp on the language, but sometimes it's funny. Scientists with the university's National Seismological Center said the small quakes, including one stronger shake of magnitude 6, were detected in the Bransfield Strait, a 60-mile wide ocean channel between the South Shetland Islands and the Antarctic Peninsula. Several tectonic plates and microplates meet near the strait, leading to the frequent rumbling, but the past 3 months have been unusual, according to the center. The shakes have become so frequent that the strait itself, once increasing in width at a rate of 7 or 8 millimeters a year, is now expanding at 15 centimeters or 6 inches a year, the center said. It's a 20-fold increase, which suggests that right this minute, the Shetland Islands are separating more quickly from the Antarctic Peninsula. And then random quote at the end of this little blurb. There's no evidence that this kind of seismic activity has significant effects on the stability of the polar ice caps. Okay. No evidence. Not at all. I'm going to say no evidence. Not at all. Okay. The other part of the climate con that I wanted to talk about is how prevalent the idea of climate change being a hoax is with all kinds of conspiracy theory. It gets lumped into other conspiracy theories, which, I don't dismiss out of hand ever. I mean, I think there are plenty. I was, to go to back to the Hugh video that we were talking about yesterday. He was like, I can't stand these lefties who are like, conspiracy theories are dumb. He said, shut the fuck up. I'm saying what Hugh said. If you don't believe there aren't, haven't been conspiracies, aren't conspiracies, people aren't conspiring to, screw you out of your livelihood and your well-being, I don't know what planet you're living on. And certainly they're trying to screw you out of every last dollar that you have. And currently trying to screw you out of any sense of rationality that people have on a whole, because as a population, people are more and more irrational every day. People just believe all kinds of noise because it's easier and it's safer. If everybody believes the lie, well, if I don't believe the lie, well, then that puts me in the group of the weirdos. I don't want to be one of those weirdos. Please don't let me be a weirdo. Jacob Gordon says Al Gore is a climate con. TCR says, oh, you're talking to Annie. Poppy Davis, humans are nothing if not manipulative bastards. Bastards. Wow, Mashy, conspiracies are real, conspiracy theories are smokescreens? I don't know. I mean, a lot of fact behind the conspiracy that they're not telling you how bad climate change is. That's a pretty good conspiracy they have going right now. And it's very prevalent if you haven't noticed. Rich Diana says you need a few really ghastly climate killing events to convince the majority. Yes, I agree. That doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Yes. For the biosphere, the banks are currently conspiring to not let the U.S. populace figure out that the economy is circling the drain for as long as possible. Oh, yeah. Carol Hikes, the conspiracy is that there are no conspiracies. That's a conspiracy theory right there, right? These conspiracy theories are they're baseless. They're not based on anything. That's a pretty good conspiracy theory, yeah. Yeah, TCR, you're right. It's something that makes me think we're closer to reality than any other group. The fact that our community grows at a snail's pace because don't nobody want to hear the truth. Right. Well, there's that. And the fact that, again, I'm going to refer back to the conversation I was listening to Whitney Webb having about the fact that, who do they really come down on? And who have they come down on in the past? Who are they still coming down on? People who are fighting for the environment. I mean, it's just evident, people who are really concerned for the environment, unless you're super peaceful and just out on Earth Day with a little flag or a banner with the planet Earth on it, if you're really trying to make the case to save the climate, they're really gonna come down on you hard, and we know this. But the thing is, okay, so I was referencing the Hugh video the other day, and I thought about it a little bit since then. And I'm gonna say that there is a possibility he could be right as far as some kind of martial law, right? And because doesn't that line up with what Whitney Webb has been describing the TIP as? She's just relaying what the TIP is saying, right? She's just saying this is what this group of people who are wargaming out the election say is going to happen. They're going, there's going to be this confusion and chaos and oh my God, and nobody knows what's going to happen, and then that's going to be the pretense for locking people down even further, right? Creating a pretense for some like martial law or suspension of civil liberties. And we see that is already happening. That is already, all of that is up until now. I mean, if you just want to look back at what she said the TIP was saying, if you just want to follow the trail, if you just want to go back and refer to, I read a few articles on the TIP. If you just want to go back and refer to that, it's pretty much all come true, right? Except for the martial law part, and we don't even know, maybe that's still in play. However, I have to disagree strongly with you that, it's only, the right wing is, it's going to be a right wing coup. It's going to be a fascistic Hitlerian right wing coup for Trump. Nah, I really disagree on that. Is there a chance that could be that? Sure. But I really strongly disagree. I think the coup is what they have been, coup, if you want to use that word, coup might be a little overused right now. But if you want to say the thing that's going to happen is the increased amount of surveillance, amount of the ability to round people up, and anybody who you don't like, the ability to deplatform anybody that you don't like, the ability to kick people off channels, anybody that you don't like, that's already happening. That's already being, that's evident. It's already in the pipeline. It's already a done deal. So all of this is being used as a pretense for that, and to go. You know what I was thinking. What I find really interesting, too, about the climate change being a hoax thing, being a part of most of the conspiracy platforms, and most QAnons are like climate. Because QAnon is, everybody agrees that QAnon is a psyop. And if you believe that QAnon is a psyop, and you know that Donald Trump knows about QAnon because he signals that he knows about QAnon all the time, it's evident that he has been working with QAnon. Again, I'm probably not laying this out too clear, but what I'm trying to say is, if you know that QAnon is a psyop and Trump knows about QAnon, then why wouldn't Trump be a psyop? Which, if you put those two together, it kind of proves my point that Trump is a false flag. That Trump is a psyop, right? If Q is a psyop, Trump is a psyop. All of this is acting. All this is acting. Right? Look at this. This guy, so, people, they have been showing this guy all over the place. And everybody's like, if this is on a TV sitcom, the writers would be told it was a hackneyed trope and told to rewrite it. Hero wannabe horn guy lives in mom's basement. But here's the thing. What is this guy? He's a failed actor. Or maybe he's a really successful actor because he's called the QAnon shaman. And he went in, he got into the Capitol building, and he was like, oh, the horns, and he's crazy, and he's got a spear with a flag on it. He's a QAnon shaman. And he was there for insurrection at the Capitol, right? Oh, good job. No, I'd say he's super successful. Super successful as an actor. I think he found his niche. I mean, we know that crisis actors are a thing. They are a thing. Who's a better crisis actor than a failed, quote unquote failed actor? Bro, what we need you to do is get into this Q movement, right? Raza says QQ for Cocoa Puffs. I'm just saying, everybody knows, everybody understands, everybody realizes that Q is a psyop. So you get all these people, you know, into this thing, into this psyop, into this like movement, the Q movement. And you scramble people's brains. And then you allow them to be, you know, you allow them to be kind of part of this play where insurrection at the Capitol. Oh my God, we're going to, you know, we're going to designate, you know, MAGA people domestic terrorists. Oh, we're going to designate these people domestic terrorists. Look out, you don't want to be a domestic terrorist. If you're in any way going against the establishment line or narrative, you might be inciting violence. Are you a domestic terrorist? The same language that they were using against Jimmy Dore for Force the Vote was kind of the language that they started painting all the, you know, violence, inciting violence. You're inciting violence. You are violent. You might be, you know, people were trying to call Jimmy Dore a white supremacist. But you see, you know, it's not the actuality of whether somebody is a white supremacist or not doesn't matter. It's just the language. The language is there to make everybody like, oh, these people are terrible. We must be saved from these people. And so all you got to do is anybody who's a little out there or anti-establishment, you just paint them with the brush. Shoo. They're a Trumper. They're a MAGA. They've been on Fox News. They're a white supremacist. They're you know, in league with Blobbity Blue. That's all you got. That's all you got to do. Kuro Hike says, I was saying this yesterday and you were acting like I'm crazy. Are you talking to me? When did I act like you were crazy, Kuro? Again, we agree on like 99% of like everything. So I don't know. If I was acting like you were crazy, I apologize. Yeah, JT, yeah, people died. People died in 9/11. People die in terror attacks that could or could not be real terror attacks, right? You could stage a terror attack and people could actually die, but that doesn't mean it's like a real terror attack. That's what a false flag is. And that's, again, how they get you to be emotional, have an emotional reaction to, and, you know, that's why false flags work. Because you're, oh my God, these people died. And it's, yeah, that sucks. It sucks that people died. It really sucks that people died. It's actually worse. If it's a staged happening, it's actually worse. Somebody staged this and somebody died in something that was a fake happening or a joke, or, you know, a joke to some people. That's actually worse. That's actually infuriating. Super infuriating. Anyways. But here, I'm on the floor with Jimmy Dore. Nice. But here's the thing. Here's what's interesting to me is that it's so prevalent that in conspiracy theory worlds, QAnon worlds, that climate change is always a hoax. It's always a hoax. Again, this helps keep climate change like way far away from people's minds, you know, from people grasping that it's something that they need to worry about. You know, you've got this way to generate basically a misdirection, right? Don't look over here. Don't look now. But let me go on, you know, again, they're really intent on creating this. The thing is all about the narrative right now. It's all about that. Oh my God, racists, white supremacists, white power, all the, you know, even though we know that more black people, more Latino people, more LGBT people voted for Trump in this last election. What category of voter what category of voter went down for Trump? White men. Why does nobody ever bring that up? Why does everybody I'm just waiting for people to explain why every single thing about Trump is white supremacy. And I'm sure that there is some, I absolutely know. I mean, Trump himself is a pretty despicable human being. So I'm just saying, why do all of his followers have to be siloed? Like, why do they have to be a monolith, right? We always hear about, black people aren't a monolith, or these people aren't a monolith. Not everybody believes, not everybody is just, you can't paint them with all the same brush. So why are we doing that with Trump supporters or QAnons or anybody who might be in, following this movement or whatever for different reasons, right? For racist reasons. There's plenty of evidence that, that the people that follow Trump, especially like black and Latino people, they know he's racist and they're like, been living with racism my whole life, but I just like these other things like racism, it's a thing, it's a thing that people, have been around their whole lives and had to deal with their whole lives. And maybe they see Trump's racism as less abhorrent than Biden's because it's out in the open. Yes, Kiro Hikes. Really, the real issues in this country are class issues, and that's why Trump is so popular. Because it's not about race. It's about he's representing the things that he's saying, whether he's actually doing it or not for the people. The things that he's saying are more representational of people who are downtrodden, people who are in middle America, people who have lost their jobs, people who feel like the government is corrupt or the systems of government have failed them. Right? He's a perfect kind of icon for that. Oh, he's anti-establishment. When we know he's not, but people see him that way, and they see this whole movement behind Trump is basically an anti-establishment movement. That's why it's so popular. More about the anti-establishmentarianism and less about the identitarianism, right? So, and who is it? Who are the other people that get really screwed by the media and the politicians? It's the lefties, it's the progressives, it's the people that are anti-establishment. Check this out. This is a really interesting tweet. I'm going to go soon, guys. I've got to go do something else. I do think that the one thing that the thing that does concern me about the Trump movement is how many police and military people are very, very, very behind Trump. That's the part that gives me pause, and that's the part that makes me go like, that's the one part that makes me feel like if he was right about his prediction, it would be because so many policemen, so many military are on the Trump train or whatever. But last thing, and this is actually illustrating my point that it's more about corruption or anti-establishmentarianism than it is about identitarianism. Somebody posted this, Indigo Geek, Pete Buttigieg supporter. I didn't even know those existed, but anyways. Somebody says, I'm so confused. My MAGA classmates are posting stuff about Tulsi Gabbard running as a Republican in 2024 and how they believe she's the only honest politician left. Is this a niche thing in my area's bubble, or is this all of a sudden a thing? They're even ordering shirts. I was like, wow, amazing. So, then all the people below this are just insane dumb fucks, right? All these people are just, and whatever. All these people are just, shit-lib, neoliberal, like, I knew Tulsi was a racist, or I knew, yeah, she had Russian ties, or yeah, I knew I couldn't trust her. Because they don't know anything about anything. They have no political acumen whatsoever. They're just dopey people that repeat what they hear on CNN and think that they know what they're talking about. Literally. But the point of this, the point of me bringing this up is that Tulsi Gabbard appeals to a lot of people. She appeals to Democrats and to Republicans. She is truly like a reach across the aisle kind of candidate, and it's because most of her platform is very populist, very people-centric, and she's also very anti-war. She's very consider climate change. She's very pro-healthcare. She's basically a progressive who's in the military and is worried about regime change war, and she's about bringing troops home and telling people the truth about what is going on in these wars. But MAGA people see her as honest. Do you understand the phenomenon? The phenomenon is like, we're sick of these lying assholes. These virtue signaling, ridiculous clowns who say that they represent us but don't represent us, right? Yeah, but the thing is Andy the Gardener, yes, Kevin, he's a demagogue, but that's not sure, but he's also a populist. And so, when Trump first was in office, there was this big thing on social media and in mainstream media about making populism a bad word. If you were a populist, you were like a racist or something, Like, no, that's not what it means. Like, again, making words mean what they don't mean, right? Like changing the meaning of words so that people are like, oh, I hate all these populists. They are stupid. Right? Anyways. Yeah, but the thing is also populism, Andy the Gardener, is also what FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, was a progressive, very lefty. He was also a populist. He was a populist. Populism means popular with the people. Means, listening to the people, giving the people what they want, or at least, acting like you do. That's what it means. That's not a bad thing. Not on any level. And that's what people miss. That's the whole thing that people are missing about this, and they're making it all about white supremacy and racism, white supremacy. It's not about that. It's about people not being heard. And are there whack job fucking racist white supremacists in the mix? Fuck yeah, there are. You can't, that I'm not in denial of that. I'm just saying you gotta widen the fucking umbrella. You gotta widen the scope. You gotta widen your lens, and you gotta see, why is this happening? Somebody else tweeted, I'm gonna go, guys, but somebody else tweeted really quickly. I want to bring up this point. Something in regards to, I think they were talking about the vote to impeach, or maybe people's trying to understand what's going on with the MAGA people or with the Trump people or whatever. Somebody said it's like half the teachers in a school trying to understand the point of the school shooter. And I was like, that's not a bad thing. Why did this happen? I mean, school shootings happen, terrorist attacks happen, whatever, lone gunmen, and people try to understand what is the reason for this? What motivated this person? That's like an intelligent thing to do. That's something smart people do. So this person was like, we just don't like them. School shooters, just fuck them. Just, shoot them. You don't have to understand them. Take them down. Okay, maybe, you want to take them down so that they don't shoot any more people. Maybe you want to put them away. But, understanding them wouldn't be a bad thing. That's actually what psychologists try to do. That's what the medical field tries to do. They try to understand, what are the factors involved in all kinds of things, all kinds of violence, gang violence, community violence, domestic violence. Like, what are the factors? What are the motivating factors? That's an intelligent thing to do. But no, you can't have an intelligent discussion on Twitter half the time because Kiro Hikes, I saw a white guy getting kicked off the plane. He was yelling, "You're treating me like I'm black." Yeah. 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 Anyways, guys, that's the end of this weird kind of ranty video. But Jacob Gordon, indeed, Trump is a false flag. I agree with you. I've been leaning that way the whole time. The more I lean, the more I realize I think I'm leaning right, not right. You know what I'm saying? I remain left, but while leaning right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Thanks for watching on Rockfin, my friends. Peter Zabidnin. This isn't a psyop? Okay. Well, I'll watch your link. I'll check out your link. Thank you, Peter Zabindin. Thank you. I will check it out. I'm into. I want more information. 17 watching on Rockfin, and that's really good. Very encouraging. I appreciate that, guys. We have 17. I don't know if that's a record, but let's get up to 20 tomorrow. Jay Thadcast. Everything will be used as a pretense for crackdown. There is no path that will be unmolested. Yes, I agree with you. Failed actor reminds me of Ronald Reagan. See how you are? Yeah, thank you for the link, Peter. Thank you. I'll watch it. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, the regular time. Peace.